Hello and welcome to Focus on Israel and the Palestinian Territories. My name is Paul Calvert. Psalm 27 verse 1 from the New King James Bible says this: "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? The Lord is the strength of my life. Of whom shall I be afraid?" I'm with Ellie Rothstein from Kav L'Noar. Now Ellie, what is Kav L'Noar?
The whole goal of Kav L'Noar is that we recognize that for society to be successful, it's not just about positive academics and doing well in school. It also involves the emotional element. That if we're more resilient and we're more emotionally healthy, we'll be able to be more successful in everything that we do.
What does Kav L'Noar mean?
It means that it's a line for the youth. Essentially, the idea is that we recognize that the youth is the next generation, and we're working through the youth for the success of our country.
And when were you started as an organization, and why were you started?
So I wish Dr. Achtel was here today. He's the guy that started the organization 15 years ago. When he came here, he made Aliyah to Israel more than 15 years ago, and he looked around and he saw that emotional health was just not getting dealt with here. You have Israelis who they work within their system, but anybody that wasn't speaking native Hebrew, they had a very difficult time managing the system, managing the emotional health system, getting therapy, kids who needed something more than just their family life or their school, and he started Kav L'Noar to fill that gap.
And what is the mission of the organization?
The mission of the organization is to help individuals and their families become more successful for who they are and to be more productive for who they are, and eventually to improve our society through that.
And what sort of families and youth are actually referred to you?
All different types. It's across the spectrum. We can see people that are in major crisis where the kids are going into drugs and alcohol or becoming dangerous. We can see families that they see that the kids are having other type of issues, mental health issues. And sometimes it's families they're having a hard time adjusting and they just need a little bit more support.
And what sort of projects do you run with the families and with the youth?
We run all different types of projects. It starts off, we do individual mentoring. We call it therapeutic mentoring, in which it's a professional type mentoring where we'll pair the individual, the child, with a professional mentor who's receiving supervision and clinical oversight. We work within the school system when we're doing groups with the kids in the school. When we're working with a group, so it allows the kids to feel like they're part of something. It also allows the kids to feel like they have a space for themselves to develop themselves with social skills, emotional regulation. In addition to that, we work with families and couples, giving them private therapy as well.
And why is mentoring important?
That's a great question. When Barack Obama was in the White House, one of his big projects that he took on was this thing called My Brother's Keeper. And essentially the idea was that oftentimes a child feels like they don't have their own special place. And if they don't have their own special place and they don't have a place to really express themselves, then what's going to happen is that either they're going to hold it in, and some kids are resilient and they just deal with it, and other kids, they hold it in and then it really pulls them down. So what Obama did and what we're doing is that he paired them with individuals that can be somebody that they can look up to, a big brother, somebody that they can feel like this is my safe place. And doing that allows these children to feel like they have a safe place, that they're not going to get in trouble for just being themselves, and that allows them to flourish.
Can having a mentor change someone's life?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I would put the question back onto you, is that we all have mentors. We've spoken a little bit about our mentors, and at the end of the day, that's what helps us shape who we are. So I think that's massive.
Now, today we live in a world of technology, but is communication difficult for some people?
I think that technology destroyed communication. I think that in the world of WhatsApp and Facebook and social media, we don't communicate anymore. And at the end of the day, communication is really our lifeline for becoming resilient and growing.
Does the work that you do help the families and the youth know that they're important?
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the types of feedback that we get, in fact, yesterday we got some interesting feedback, where the family, they came to us and we just did individual mentoring with their daughter. And they said, because of you, we feel like us as a family, we can do it, that we're important and we're special. And we want every client of ours to feel like that. We want every client to feel like they're our only client and they take all of our focus. And that's why our services are more heavy in that sense, that we're giving the family so much. But at the same time, we all need that. So it's really giving them more.
Are you helping people to make right choices and right decisions?
It's a tough question. Right choices and right decisions, I don't know what that means. because the right choice for me may be different than the right choice for somebody else. I would say that we're non-agenda based, that we're going to explore with the client what is best for them and help them to make the decisions for themselves. We're not looking to hold the responsibility. We're looking to share the responsibility.
Now, tell us a bit more about the school group mentoring. Do you go into schools and talk with youth and children in schools?
Yeah, I would say that's one of my favorite parts of Kav L'Noar. When we do go into schools, we're in about 30 schools this year, and we're looking to be in about 50 next year. What's so special and unique about the schools is that we're not just working with individuals anymore. We're working with the school, we're working with the community, and we're able to see our results in a much deeper, finer, granular way that we wouldn't necessarily be able to see if we're working with individuals. So it's a different type of intervention, but at the same time, we see it as being almost having a greater ripple effect than other types of interventions.
Do you help people who are struggling with thoughts of suicide?
When it does come up, we are there for them. As we were saying earlier, that's not a core part of our mission. We're not looking to save all the suicide cases, but at the same time, being in this emotional and mental health area, it is something that comes up regularly, and we have to be very vigilant with it and recognize it, and we do help out cases when they exist.
Is mental health a big problem here in Israel?
Mental health, it's a problem across the globe. I don't think that Israel is any different in that sense. And not only that, I think that we're no different as a people than any other part of the world. I think what's special is that we're willing to put in so much effort and energy to recognize the issues and to work through them. And I think that's very unique here.
Have you seen youth stay in school and turn their life around with the work that you're doing?
Yes, absolutely. I think that that's something so special. Maybe I'll share with you after the interview. When we put out our yearly review, one of the things that we do is we actively measure all the services that we're doing, and we actively measure with each kid with the work that we're doing. And what we've seen is, specifically in the school group mentoring, but also in the other work that we're doing, is that kids that were emphasized as kids that are probably going to drop out of school and end up going towards the direction of jail, because of our interventions, they're becoming normative and above normative and staying in school and changing.
Wow. That must be quite exciting to see, just to know that a child has gone in the right direction.
It's unbelievable. It's bringing me to this story that happened a couple of years ago, where we had a school that called us up and they said, we're kicking this boy out of school. He can no longer be with us, but we're giving him one more chance if he'll work with you. And he was already seeing a therapist. He had an addictions issue. And we spoke with the therapist, and we came up with an intervention plan for the boy. And together, we got the boy back into school. And he became one of the prize students of that school. I got an email from the school yesterday that they wanted to ask us for help for a similar case because they felt so proud of what happened with that boy.
Wow. So you're not just a lifeline for the child, you're a lifeline for the school as well.
Absolutely. It's really that ripple effect where our agenda is to be working together. Our agenda is not that we need to be the special case or the hero. It's that we're working together because we see the future as the important piece here.
So this is really having a great effect on society as well, because you're stopping that person from going to jail, or perhaps stopping that person from going into drugs or a life of crime. And so it's actually having a ripple effect more on a lot of people rather than just one person.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that that's something that's people don't recognize that. It's just because we're working with one person or two people or 10 people or 200 people, that doesn't mean that we're not affecting everybody. It's a ripple effect, because when you leave here, you're going back into your house and you're going back into your community and you're going back into your school. And everything that you do at the end of the day does have a ripple effect.
It reminds me, there's a Jewish thought, isn't there, that if you save one person, you save a whole life, or something. I can't remember exactly what it is, but that's what you're doing, is by changing someone's life.
That's exactly what it is. It's in Tractate Sanhedrin, that it says that if you save one life, you save an entire world. And that's really what it is. And the entire world is not just that person's world, but it's the entire world that he's living within.
Do people who've came into the land need help, like, for instance, new immigrants?
So I'm one of those people. Maybe you're one of those people also. Yeah, absolutely. I think that coming into a new society as an immigrant is challenging. And I think that there are wonderful organizations that are working on the bureaucratic side. You have organizations like Nefesh B'Nefesh, who at the end of the day, I wouldn't be in Israel if not for them. But there's this other side of the coin that we're learning to manage a new society. And that is, for lack of better terms, that's traumatic. And the more resilient we are, we were able to get through it. But certainly as immigrants, we're challenged with these things, maybe more so or more exacerbated than others.
Is it daunting for a new immigrant to actually come into the land and perhaps you don't quite understand the language and understand the culture and the way things are done here?
Yeah, I think daunting is a fair word. I don't think it's scary, because I think that when people come here, they're coming because they're choosing to be here. But it's difficult. It's very, very difficult. I have a friend who just made Aliyah to Israel 2 weeks ago, and he's having trouble opening up a bank account Not because it's a hard thing to do, but because he doesn't speak Hebrew. So certainly it's a challenge.
Do you work with children who have been bullied?
Yes. We're working with both sides of the coin, with the bullies themselves and with the children that have been bullied. And we see that we had a story this year with one of the groups that we're working with, where one of the children, it was a girls group, the girl was the bully. And the school wanted to kick her out, and the group wanted to keep her in, even though they saw her as the bully, but they felt like they were growing together as a group. They felt like, let's help her figure out how to get through that. But it's something that comes up so much nowadays, because bullying nowadays is not just a physical or with words, but it's also turned into something that's on social media and something that can be much greater. But at the same time, we do see that building this sensitivity and emotional strength helps the bullies and the people that are being bullied.
Someone who's a bully, is there a sense of insecurity in their life that they have to feel that they have power over somebody else?
I don't feel comfortable giving a direct answer because it can be so many different factors. You know, they could feel like their life is out of control. They could feel like they have to control everybody. They could feel like they have no self-esteem. There's so many different things that can lead to it. But again, if we as a society are more sensitive to people and more caring about people, I think that bullying will be affected by that.
Do people come back years later and perhaps give back to the mentoring scheme and want to mentor someone themselves?
It happens really all the time on so many different levels. We have people here, one of our staff members started out as a mentor herself, and she felt so connected to the work that she asked if she could stay on, and she's now becoming a program director. And we also see in other times where we'll get like wedding invitations. You worked with me 9 years ago, and because of you, I'm able to get married today. I want you to come back and be part of my wedding. So it's something that really, it's so special to see.
And they also know how the program works because they've been through it themselves.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely.
Are you making a difference in society?
I believe we are. I really believe we are. I see when we're getting the municipalities coming to us and asking us to help them with their different issues, or where we see that there are different communities that are asking us to come and do interventions or to come and open up programs, it shows us that we really are making a difference.
Why did you get involved?
Why did I get involved? I'm really passionate about this lack of emotional health in society. It's something that's always bothered me. Even as a kid, it's something that bothered me, that because somebody's grades are low, it doesn't mean because they're stupid. Maybe it means they just don't feel supported. And that's something that's always really touched me. And the more I see it, the more I feel like we want to make a change, and I want to make a change.
Kids just need to be encouraged and showed the right path, really, don't they?
We all need to be loved. Yeah. That's the bottom line. We all need to be loved, and we need to feel special. And if that doesn't exist, it's going to be very hard to push forward.
What's your prayer for the future of the work?
My prayer for the future of the work is that emotional health will be just as important to society as physical health, and we'll treat it the same way.
Is it easy to hide if you have an emotional problem? People don't actually really realize or really understand that there is a big problem in someone's life because they don't understand it.
So let me ask you differently. If I came in here today and told you I'm dealing with a trauma right now, would you think that I'm dealing with a trauma?
No.
But I am dealing with a trauma, right? Just, we can put it on. I don't care. My car's broken down and I have to get it fixed. And that's really traumatic because it's really expensive and I need to be doing stuff. But we're taught as a society, keep your emotions inside. That's not okay. That's not allowed. And we have to kind of hide it as people. That's what we're told needs to be done. And I think that that's wrong and unfair.
Do men particularly need to learn to open up more? I presume women maybe open up more than men, but do men need to open up more?
It's really an emotional language that you're talking about. Do women have it more than men? Statistically, maybe they have a little bit more emotional language than men, but they're getting the same thing. And again, we're seeing that all over the place. You look on Instagram and you see the women that are immodestly dressed. You don't see as many men like that. And so they may have a better language for it, but at the same time, they're still told, keep your emotions inside.
What's your website for people who'd like to know more?
It's kavlenoar.org.
Okay, Ellie, thank you very much.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
If you'd like to know more about our show, you can join us on Facebook. Just look for Focus on Israel-Radio. Ezekiel 37 verse 4-6 says this, Again he said to me, Prophesy to these bones, and say to them, O dry bones, hear the word of the Lord. Thus says the Lord God of these bones, Surely I will cause breath to enter into you, and you shall live. I will put sinners on you, and bring flesh upon you, cover you with skin, and put breath in you, and you shall live. Then you shall know that I am the Lord, and the Jews will receive the real shalom peace.